Londres.
One of the reasons that people voted Leave is that they were fed up with being run by a remote and self-serving political class, as much in Westminster as here in the EU institutions. Everything that has happened over the past 30 months has vindicated that complaint. We've seen truly extraordinary, disgraceful behaviour by a number of our own parliamentarians. A certain coldness in Brussels was to be expected in the aftermath of our referendum. What was not to be expected was the readiness of British MPs openly to side with the other side in the negotiations, to cheer on any EU position, however self-contradictory, however irrational, however obviously fraudulent, because they were still sore about the referendum result. Put yourself in the shoes of a Brussels negotiator. You keep being told by British MPs that they will not allow the chaos, as they put it, of crashing out with no deal, right? A less tendentious way of putting that would be to say leaving without the EU's explicit permission. But this is what you're hearing, and you're hearing it in particular from the kind of Brits whom you've got to know over the years and whom you like the best, from John Major, from Tony Blair, from Michael Heseltine, from Nick Clegg. What on earth do you expect EU negotiators to do in that situation if they are being told that the UK will never walk away from the table? Then, logically, there are only two options left. Either Britain has to take whatever terms are put in front of it, however one-sided, however vengeful, however favourable to the EU and painful to Britain, or they have to stay in the European Union. And that, frankly, explains where we've got to now. So, what next? Well, I've just come out of a debate in plenary, listening to Michel Barnier. He just said, it's now entirely up to Britain to find a way out of this impasse. All right then, very well. There's only one, given where we are, only one way in which Parliament, it seems to me, can break the impasse. And it's this. It's to offer a short extension, 7 or 8 weeks, to allow both sides to prepare, to use that time to prepare wholly for a no-deal outcome. In other words, to publish our tariff schedules, to prepare our customs arrangements and so on, to encourage the EU to do it in cooperation with us. But meanwhile, to legislate to pass every part of the withdrawal agreement except the Irish backstop, and to leave the door open for a deal at least on the rest, so that we can agree on things like the financial payments, the citizens' rights. At least we don't have to have all of those things sacrificed while we are still searching for an acceptable deal on the backstop. This is not an ideal position, right? This is not where anybody wanted to be. I can't help feeling that if my suggestion of a Swiss-type deal had been taken up at the beginning, we'd have solved the problem long ago and we'd now be talking about a permanent outcome. But given where we now are, we cannot simply carry on offering the same deal to a Parliament that has rejected it and expecting concessions from an EU that has been completely disincentivized by our own parliamentarians from listening or engaging constructively in negotiations.